Good morning. Let's get right to this conversation. Senator Obama and Senator McCain get by with a little help from their friends. Now let's just get right to the root of this. It's in the news all over the place about Obama having a connection to a William Ayers. And of course, then there's all these other issues that are coming up, and the economy is really tough. So let's tie these together. Okay, William Ayers. Last night I saw a picture of William Ayers. There's a flag, standing on a flag, stepping on a flag. And it turns out that, of course, his Weather Underground background back in the 60s was pretty scary. He and his wife and a lot of young people were bombing buildings in the United States in their protest of the government. And the question has been, did Barack Obama have any connections? And of course, it's been fluffed off the shoulder and played down. So let's just real quick hit this. While Mr. Ayers was bombing buildings in America, Senator McCain over here was fighting for this flag, rotting in a prison of war camp, being tortured. And it was his friends in the prison of war camp who were taking care of him as he fought for this flag. Boy, that hurt. Watch that man, Mr. Ayers, sitting on a flag. What's Mr. Ayers got to do with Barack Obama? Evidently, lots more than the press is saying. Not just because he knew him, because he lived in the neighborhood. They served on two boards together, the Woods Fund, the Chicago Annenberg Challenge. Obama wrote a foreword in one of his books. He launched his political campaign the first time round in 95 in Mr. Ayers' home. There have been some contacts. Now, everyone knows that that's disturbing, okay? I think the biggest thing is there's a connection that goes further than Mr. Ayers. So let's get right to it. Acorn, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac. Turns out Obama was fighting for Acorn, helping to fund it, and they've been investigated for voter fraud, and they've helped get low-interest loans, pressure banks, and it turns out that tie-in went to Washington, where Acorn people who couldn't get loans wanted to get loans from Fannie and Freddie, which then helped the Democrats to fight really hard to get these low-interest loans. Then we end up with Barney Frank, Chris Dodd, Obama, who have gotten more money from Fannie and Freddie, which is at the heart of one of our biggest financial meltdowns because of all of the bad real estate paper. Then over here, you have Senator McCain, who back in 05 and 06 proposed legislation to rein in Fannie and Freddie. But the Democrats in the Congress shot it down. Now, big difference there. So there's a connection with Acorn and Fannie and Freddie. And then over here you have McCain. President Bush was saying for years and years, these have to be reined in. Now, that's another situation that's more to it. Obama helped train the Acorn people. So there's more to that. It's not just simple. Now let's go to the next one, Reverend Wright. While he was busy in his church saying GD America and KKK of USA and all kinds of really bad things, over here you have Senator McCain was out serving his country in the military. He was fighting for this flag that Reverend Wright was GDing, and he was serving his nation. That's three connections that we have heard about, but 20 years in that church, I think Senator Obama got the drift. So now you say, well, okay, we've heard of all these. That's only three. I found 17 other connections. Let's be fair. Tony Rezko, friend of Obama's, helped him get the lot next door, helped him with probably his campaign. Next thing you know, he gets convicted and supposedly is going to jail for some of his real estate practices. So you have Rezko. Now over here you did have Keating for Senator McCain in the 80s. But guess what? He and John Glenn, Senator John Glenn, Congressman John Glenn, were exonerated by the Democratic attorney and the Congress. The Democratic attorney on TV yesterday said they shouldn't have even been in there. Okay, so now we have another situation where there's big difference. You see the differences here. This Mr. Professor Khalid at Columbia was a friend of Obama's. They've eaten together, and he helped him with his college fund. Well, guess what? That man hosted the president of Iran in the last 2 weeks. So he could come bash America and talk about Israel doesn't deserve to be alive. While this was going on for Mr. Khalid and his teachings, Middle East teachings and all, at Columbia, over here you had Senator McCain going to Iraq and other war zones and visiting the troops in the name of this flag. Over and over and over, not just one grandstand trip, but over and over he went to visit the troops. So there's another big difference. That's a scary one, you know. There was Nadami Aushi. There was somebody named Marzouk Farrakhan, Allison Davis, Obongo Obama, Odingo, James Meeks, and the ones I've already named. And there are more. Now, why is all this important? It goes to the character of a candidate. We're talking very radical, very left extreme liberal connections, and they're real. It's not that Ayers didn't exist. It's not that Wright didn't exist. It's not that Acorn and the support for the Democrats, Barney Frank, Harry Reid, Chris Dodd, all these people supported Fannie and Freddie. So that's an economic place where Senator McCain had it right. You know, we have a right as the people to know about a person's character. I'd say that's a huge challenge, because I would rather have someone who fought for this flag than someone who has associations with people who step on this flag.